Hi, it's Dwyer, Gamblers Advisory, here with some more comments on the Miguel Cotto Manny Pacquiao fight. Now, just imagine trying to fight Manny Pacquiao while you're off balance. Just imagine you have your power punch out in front of you, and Manny Pacquiao, with superior foot movement, is moving away from you. Let's say you're a southpaw fighting out of an orthodox stance. In other words, rather than have your left hand cocked like Manny Pacquiao does, you actually have your left hand out in front of you as your lead jab hand, right? And let's say Manny Pacquiao is so fast that Manny Pacquiao is able to move away from your left hand. In fact, he's able to literally set up shop on your right hip. And as you're turning to fight Manny Pacquiao, and keep in mind, you're already off balance because you don't have your power hand cocked. You have it out in front of you. So even when you turn to try to catch up with Manny, you have to recock your power punch to get it off, right? Because if you're going to get any leverage on left hook, you actually are going to have to pull it back to throw it because you have the hand set up already in front of you. It's not cocked. Now just imagine Pacquiao with his reflexes literally throwing a stiff right jab at you and then following it up with his left hand, which he's able to throw faster than you can throw yours because his left hand is already cocked, right? Well, that's exactly the situation that Miguel Cotto is going to find himself in when he fights Manny Pacquiao. And I believe that there is a distinct possibility. In fact, I believe it is the most likely outcome in this fight that Manny Pacquiao wins this fight by knockout. Manny Pacquiao was able to destroy left-hand dominant Ricky Hatton. He was able to destroy left-hand dominant Oscar De La Hoya. He was able to destroy David Diaz. When an opponent doesn't have the hand speed or the foot speed to keep up with Manny Pacquiao, that's bad enough. But when the opponent is turned around so that his dominant hand is actually out in front of him because he's a southpaw masquerading as a right-handed fighter, then that's just terrible. I believe this fight, after a few rounds, is going to be uncompetitive. Manny Pacquiao, when he's able to set up shop on your right side, and keep in mind it's devastating when you're in an orthodox stance because this right hand is supposed to be your power hand. When Manny Pacquiao is able to literally just set up shop on your right side and move toward your right, in other words, he's a southpaw moving toward his left, it's going to look at times like Manny Pacquiao against Ricky Hatton. Also, let's go further. People who read my book know that I believe in blueprint fights. Take a look at the first 6 rounds of the recent fight, the August 2009 fight between Juan Urango, world champion at 140 pounds, a southpaw masquerading as a right-handed fighter who fights under the guy who taught Miguel Cotto how to box, his uncle. Um, the uncle who Cotto recently split with. This uncle trained Cotto to the championship. Just take a look at Juan Urango's fight against Randall Bailey. Now, Randall Bailey is not as fast as Manny Pacquiao, but he's faster than Juan Urango. Randall Bailey, like Manny Pacquiao, uses distance in the ring, and by that I mean there's certain fighters. Manny Pacquiao is one of them. The people in the UK know that Carl Froch is another one. There's certain fighters who are able to stay so far away from you in the ring that you can't even use your lead jab as a rangefinder, right? Manny Pacquiao rarely got hit with Oscar De La Hoya's jab because Pacquiao, blessed with superior foot movement, could literally come in and out. Randall Bailey employs kind of the same strategy. While Randall Bailey doesn't have a great jab like Manny Pacquiao, Randall Bailey stays at least an arm's length away. And you'll see when you look at the first 6 rounds of that one Urango Randall Bailey fight, which Urango ultimately won in the end, you'll see that the first 6 rounds are a mismatch because Juan Urango is all turned around, and fighters who are southpaws fighting out of orthodox stances do not have the mobility of opponents who are in a stance that matches their dominant hand. In other words, Manny Pacquiao doesn't have to worry about getting out of an orthodox stance because he's a southpaw fighting in a southpaw stance, right? Miguel Cotto is a southpaw fighting in an orthodox stance. So his power punch is not cocked, and against a mobile fighter who's able to move away from that punch and pepper him with hard shots, right? We saw Manny Pacquiao's power. Pacquiao has more power in the 140s, right, than he did in the 130s, right? So Manny Pacquiao is going to be hitting Cotto with hard power shots, and poor Cotto is going to have to untangle himself from having his dominant hand out away from his body to even try to land a left hook. Let's also talk briefly about Cotto's defense. Does he have above average defense? The Margarito fight. I know many want to focus on whether Margarito's gloves were juiced. Whether or not Margarito's gloves were juiced, how was Margarito, with looping punches and slower hand speed, able to hit Cotto upside the head as many times as he did? Let's talk about Cotto's fight against Joshua Clottey. Why was Cotto backing up the second half of that fight, and why was he absorbing so many headshots? Cotto, in the middle of the ring, is an average fighter. Cotto's defense is average at best, and unfortunately, he's fighting one of the most offensively talented fighters in the entire sport. As you put down your bets to gain an edge on the casino, I'm encouraging you to at least consider putting a portion of your bet, not all of it, but a portion of your bet on an outcome that right now looks unlikely. And that's Manny Pacquiao to win by knockout. People here know that a year ago, online, I predicted that Antonio Margarito would beat Miguel Cotto. I believe this fight for Manny Pacquiao is going to be even easier than that fight. No knock on Miguel Cotto. I think Miguel Cotto is one of the more courageous fighters I've seen. He fought through a cut in his last fight. I thought, quite frankly, he was very courageous against Antonio Margarito. But make no mistake, this is not the Boy Scouts. This is gambling. My goal here is not to make friends or even to influence people. My goal is to make money. And when you see a fighter who is overrated, you've got to call him out. And quite frankly, here I believe Miguel Cotto is in over his head. I believe he's going to get dominated by Manny Pacquiao. If you need to insure your bet, if you want to straddle it, then after betting on Manny Pacquiao and after betting on Manny Pacquiao to win by knockout, just to get some insurance, I would throw a few dollars on Miguel Cotto to win by knockout. Don't waste 10 cents betting on Miguel Cotto to win by decision. I do not see how that can happen. I believe the foot speed disadvantage he's at and the hand speed disadvantage he's at literally makes him winning by decision extremely unlikely. Also, I know I'm going to get a bunch of mail, I always do, about Shane Mosley. People are going to say, hey, well, how much faster and how much better is Manny Pacquiao than Shane Mosley? Shane Mosley at this stage of his career, and Shane was a great champion. He is a champion now. But Shane Mosley, different fight style than Manny Pacquiao. When I saw the Mosley Ricardo Mayorga fight, I had Ricardo Mayorga ahead after 10 rounds. Visit us at gamblersadvisory.com. Let us know your thoughts and protect yourself at all times. Consider Pacquiao by knockout.